I'm Lee Morris, and this is Patrick Hall. Join us behind the scenes as we film Photographing the World with Elia Liccardi. If you want more information about either of the two tutorials that we filmed, head over to fstoppers.com/store. In this week's episode, we run into some bad luck when the Vatican lights never turn on. We have some delicious Italian cuisine, and Patrick has some competition with those fancy moon boots.
So we've been right on the verge of being late everywhere we've been going on trains, and we have so much gear that we have to pack with us every single place. This is all of our stuff. So I haven't been able to record video.
Up and down stairs, dragging it through the tunnels, train. Everyone's trying to get off. We got all our luggage. It's quite difficult, but
everybody talks so highly of public transportation. This is for handicapped people, but we're basically handicapped with all of this baggage. Where are we?
It feels like the Twilight Zone right now. This guy hasn't changed that particular tune. It's like...
How long can it last?
It's like that scene in a movie
It's mildly...
when you have the brilliant idea and it's time to get to work, and you just start doing this, but over and over.
after listening to one of the longest songs of my life, we finally got into our taxi, drove through downtown Rome, and checked into our hotel.
So every day on this trip, we have to check into a new hotel, and we have to set up our server with our backup storage and everything, our Ethernet. We kind of have a little mini network, and this is how we travel with this thing. We've gotten to the point where instead of repacking all the cables, we just keep everything connected in our luggage, and you can see how well organized it is. And what I found is if I just grab here in the middle and kind of grab in several good spots, I can just yank this up. So I'm going to have Lee set this up because he's really good at the IT stuff, and we'll get back to working.
Being that it was our first night in Rome, Elia wanted to take us out and show us something that we had never tried before.
After a pretty brutal limoncello hangover, it was time to get out and shoot our first lesson in Rome.
You know what bridge this is?
Ponte Umberto.
I can't say that. We're on a bridge in Rome.
Umberto.
You can see the Vatican out there. Sorry, the GoPro's super wide. I'm hoping for an incredible sunset tonight. Look at these clouds. This is going to be crazy.
So we're in an area where apparently people like to steal your gear a lot, so to deter them from stealing my entire bag, I've taken the think tank cable and wrapped it around our drone. So somebody's going to have to be very determined to snatch all of this at once. We're pretty fast strapping young men, so we'll be able to catch them, I think.
You know, that's something that I think, when I think of you guys, the term strapping young men
Comes to mind?
Yeah.
We only need 10 hours of sleep every day, but besides that, we're up for the task.
Because we get 10 hours of sleep every day, we're full of energy and vigor.
That go energy and vigor, yeah. So tonight, something really strange happened. The lights on the Vatican never turned on. The Vatican lights are always on. In fact, they usually come on first. It's the beautiful lights of the dome of St. Peter's. But now, it's completely dark except for 3 little funny lights in one of the windows. So everybody here who's been waiting to get this shot is now either asking each other why those lights aren't coming on or very disappointed because they didn't get their nice blue hour night shot.
Last night, we went to go shoot the shot in Rome from the bridge of the Vatican. It's an incredible shot. The sky was amazing, it looked beautiful, and the Vatican lights never turned on. We've been having a hard time with our pictures here. 2 of the spots that Elia wanted to shoot at are completely being rebuilt or fixed. They have scaffolding all over the place. Who would have thought we would have trouble in Rome taking pictures, but we are. But that doesn't keep us from waking up when it's still night outside, right, Elias? All right, so we're currently at the Roman Forum. We're about to do a sunrise shot here.
For this lesson, Elias shows us one of his favorite pieces of gear, a clamp that he uses instead of a tripod.
When I first arrived, there was this really nice clear spot in the sky that stretched all the way to the right, past the end of this scene that I wanted to capture. So I set up this camera, the Nikon D810, to capture a really wide scene. Now, since it looked like the clouds were going to start drifting to the left pretty rapidly, I decided to set up a second camera as well to be able to capture a tighter composition. And I decided to use a clamp, which is a perfectly secure way to get my second camera to capture something without having any vibration. It also gives me more room to move around here freely and not block anybody else who would happen to be here shooting today. This little clamp made by Really Right Stuff is probably my favorite piece of equipment that I own. I use it in so many different scenarios, not just when I need a second camera and I have a perfect railing to clamp it to, but I also take it into places where tripods aren't allowed.
Everybody gives me crap every time I come to Italy because I eat at McDonald's, but I gotta tell you, at least the fast food in Italy is some of the most disgusting, bland food I've ever had in my life. In Cinque Terre, we had some pretty good pasta stuff, I must admit. It was the best Italian food I'd had so far. However, I can only eat so much pasta and so much pizza, and then it's like you just go crazy. How long have we been walking for this McDonald's?
At least 30 minutes, if not 45.
I see it in the distance. There are like 1,000 people outside. I hope that's not a line to get inside. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
No, they better just have our menu. Dude, we can't. I mean, we have to, but how is this real?
New York beef? What's that? Big Mac, give me that. Large fry. Okay, the supermodel's working here. Thank you. That was actually really fast for how many people are in here. There's no place inside to sit down, but I don't care. I'm so excited to sit outside. 3 years ago, my girlfriend and I came to Italy for about 3 weeks, and everybody asked us, how was the food? Was the food amazing in Italy? And our answer was no. It was the worst food that we had ever had on any vacation ever. And I must admit now, we've had some really good food here, but I don't think we've had any good food here for less than $50 a plate. Would you say that?
I mean, it's not even Rome. It was Cinque Terre.
Right.
I haven't had a really good meal here yet, except sushi.
We had sushi last night, and that was really
I
good.
had sushi twice this week. I didn't want to believe that you were right.
Yes.
And I listened to everybody else that's been here, and I was like, yeah, Lee's out of his mind. He's made poor decisions, but I've had about 12 pizzas now.
How much of the pizza have you had has been better than Pizza Hut?
None.
So he came into the room yesterday and was like, dude, I just had the best pizza. Finally, it's good. But it still is not as good as Pizza Hut. And I do not eat that much fast food. I know what you guys are thinking, like, oh my gosh, disgusting Americans eating fast food. I like
to throw down.
I
get some good meals.
Yes.
I'm like, let's go all out for food in Italy. But
yes.
At this point, I'm like, let's go back to the sushi restaurant. Throw down there.
It's the final day here in Rome. Hit this tattoo, Patrick. And there it goes. But today, even in the rain, we are going to do some tours today, try to enjoy ourselves.
Even though I had visited Rome before, I hadn't gotten to go into the Vatican. And I have to say, the Vatican was the most impressive building that I have ever been inside. Later that day, we got a special tour of the Colosseum, and then Patrick made a new friend.
That's a pretty close competition. I like hers, I think.
I actually wanted some that had fur coming out. But
Yeah.
They didn't have
You
it.
could do the other way around. You could get the fur inside.
Even though the lessons in Rome didn't turn out as expected, everything ended up working out in the end. When we got back and checked out the footage of the Vatican, we realized that we could come up with a great image, even though the lights never turned on.
So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've done. We've gone a long way here. So let's go ahead and turn off the color corrections that we've done. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our original RAW, which is here. And our original RAW went from here all the way to here. Our blend of sunset, which is already a very beautiful image. And then we have our blue hour added in, and then a little bit of cleanup, there wasn't much. And then check out the color corrections that we've done just with 3 simple steps. Even though they sound complicated or they seem complicated, if you just follow these simple steps, you'll see that it's easy and you'll end up with a very seamless blend.
Even though we didn't have the best food experience in Rome, I'm happy to say that the final night we were there, we had an absolutely amazing meal.
Where are we right now? Because this is awesome.
This is Ristorante San Casimato.
San Casimato.
Where are we at?
Trastevere.
Trastevere.
Exactly.
We had to go there.
Perfect.
We had to go there.
Oh, this is fantastic. I knew food like this had to exist.
I'm still not convinced that this is the standard. I think this is like super high end. Well, I think it's fitting that one of our last meals here has completely changed our mind about the Italian cuisine.
Well, it really didn't change my opinion of the food. Most of the meals that we had in Italy were pretty bad. And I like to argue that you could go to a city like New York City and go to almost any restaurant and have an absolutely incredible meal for less than 20 bucks. We didn't experience that anywhere in Italy. But this was the end of our trip for now, and we had to get to the airport, but I wanted to have one last incredible Italian meal.
They just have mayonnaise over here. Leaving Italy one last time, I might need one more hard sandwich.
I have to visit my dad in the dental practice after this one. I think my teeth are gonna crack.
What condiments do you have on yours?
Oh, let's see. We got cheese, prosciutto maybe, and that's it.
Oh man, I think mine has no condiments also.
We
What a
have water.
surprise.
We can pour the water on it.
At this point, it was time for us to catch a flight home for Christmas. But don't worry, this trip isn't even close to being finished yet. Next week, we fly all the way back around the world to Singapore.
To learn more about this entire photography tutorial, head over to fstoppers.com/Elia Liccardi.